You understand people better than most. You see patterns others miss. You read rooms, conversations, motivations almost automatically. And somehow you enjoy life less than people who don't. The people around you who notice less, question less, analyze less. They seem lighter, more present, more genuinely there, and you're standing in the same room, understanding everything, feeling almost none of it. Your awareness didn't make your life better. It made it harder to be in. That's not a personality flaw. That's a specific mechanism. And once you understand it, everything about why simple things stopped feeling simple finally makes sense. Think about the last time you were genuinely, completely present in a moment. Not a special occasion, just an ordinary one, where you weren't analyzing what the other person meant, where this was going, what you looked like. You were just there. When was that? For most people watching this, that question takes longer to answer than it should. You're watching a movie with someone, 10 minutes in, you're not watching the movie anymore. You're watching yourself watch it, noticing you should be laughing but aren't quite feeling it, predicting the ending, reading the characters, and by the time the credits roll, you observed yourself failing to watch it. The person next to you, they just watched the movie. That gap shows up everywhere. Dinners, conversations, moments that should feel good but land slightly flat. Here's what's actually happening. The brain has two systems that cannot run at full power simultaneously. One experiences, absorbs, loses track of time, lives inside the moment. The other analyzes, observes, questions, evaluates. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi found that the moment you become aware you're fully inside an experience, you exit it. The observation ends the experience. You cannot watch yourself, enjoy something and enjoy it at the same time. The more aware you are, the harder presence becomes. And the harder presence becomes, the more you watch other people experience things you're standing next to. Everyone gives you the same advice. Stop overthinking. Just be present. Turn your brain off. It doesn't work because the analytical mode doesn't turn off because you decide it should. It turns off when the environment is safe enough, familiar enough, low stakes enough to stop monitoring, and for you, that threshold almost never gets reached because there's always something worth noticing. A slightly flat response, a shift in someone's energy, the meaning underneath what someone just said. You catch it before you've decided to, automatically. And here's the line that reframes everything. The same system that makes you hard to fool is making you hard to satisfy. Satisfaction needs absorption. Absorption needs presence, and presence needs the analytical system to step back, which it won't. So the parties feel like observations, the conversations feel like exercises, the social events feel like scenes you've understood before they've finished playing out. The person who doesn't notice what you notice is having a genuinely better time at the same party. Not because they're better at life, because they're not intercepting the experience before it lands. This is why nothing feels the same anymore. Not because life got worse, because you got more aware, and awareness has a cost nobody warns you about. Here's what you probably tell yourself. If you could just think less, things would feel better. Wrong diagnosis, and it's keeping you stuck. There's a classic observation about centipedes. A centipede moves perfectly, hundreds of legs in flawless coordination, until someone asks it to explain how it walks. The moment it becomes conscious of the process, it falls apart. This is happening to you in every moment that matters. Joy, connection, excitement, these don't happen because of you. They happen to you. And the moment you start watching yourself feel them, analyzing whether the happiness is real, questioning whether the connection means what it seems, the experience evaporates. You didn't lose the ability to feel, you started intercepting the feeling before it arrived, and interception isn't permanent, it's a pattern. Patterns can change. But first, there's one more cost. Most people with this level of awareness never let themselves fully feel. At some point, you stopped being surprised by people. Not bitterly, just accurately. You saw the pattern in someone's behavior before they finished explaining. You knew how the conversation would go from its first line. You understood what someone meant before they found the words. And that accuracy started quietly taking something from you. Wonder. Surprise is the entry point for wonder, and wonder is the entry point for genuine engagement. when you can already see the shape of something before it fully arrives. It stops landing with the weight it should. The information reaches you. The feeling doesn't follow. Conversations start feeling like exercises. Relationships start feeling like case studies. Not because you don't care, but because your brain finished processing them before you got to live them. You become accurate, and accurate starts to feel like empty. The people around you who seem most genuinely engaged, the ones who laugh easily, get absorbed in conversations, seem fully there. Most of them are not smarter than you. They're arriving at the experience before the analysis does. And the awareness that was supposed to give you an edge started charging you for it in private. Is there one thing, one activity, one person, one context where the analysis doesn't fire, where you're just in it? Almost everyone with this kind of awareness has one. Maybe something physical, where the body is so occupied there's no bandwidth for observation. Maybe something creative, where the making is so demanding the watching goes quiet. Maybe one specific person whose presence somehow disarms the monitoring. That's not an escape, that's evidence. Your brain already knows how to be present, which means the switch isn't broken, it's stuck. Csikszentmihalyi's research showed that presence isn't about thinking less. It's about being in situations where the challenge is exactly matched to your capacity. Not too easy. The analyzer turns inward, not too hard. You go into threat mode, right at the edge. That's the pocket you already know, where the analysis gets absorbed into the doing instead of turning back on itself. The problem was never your awareness. It was that most ordinary environments offer nothing demanding enough to absorb a mind like yours. So it turns inward and watches you instead. You were never meant to dim what you see. You were meant to find things finally worth seeing all of. You didn't lose happiness. You started intercepting it, catching it mid-flight and taking it apart before it could land. Every moment of joy, every genuine connection. Your mind arrived first, analyzed it, and by the time it finished, the moment was gone. That's not a flaw. That's a misaimed instrument. You're not too aware to be happy. You're too aware to be happy accidentally. For someone like you, happiness has to be deliberate, has to come from finding the things that absorb everything you have so completely that there's nothing left over to watch yourself with. That's not a limitation. When it works at a depth most people never reach.